Truly, the time of loss is a very difficult time. Welcome to the show, Painful Goodbyes. World over, about 114 million people lost their jobs in 2020 due to the COVID-19 induced lockdowns. And today, to take us through this loss of a job is my brother Xolani Moyo, who is with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. People may love to know who I am talking to. Well, I've said this is Xolani Moyo, but you have a way of introducing yourself that may help our viewers and listeners to understand who we are talking to.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Xolani Moyo. I'm a father of 4 daughters, okay. Girls only, the home of girls.
Okay.
I am aged 45 years. I'm turning 46 this coming year, 2023. Okay. I think I'm married. I forgot to say that I'm married. As I'm having these daughters right. To a beautiful wife, Sheila Hatebe. That's my Mrs. Moyo, my Eve. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Pastor.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, thank you very much. You'd briefly tell us about your work life, how it has been like.
Okay. Firstly, I would love to say I worked as a motor mechanic. Okay. That was during 1995 to 2002. Mm-hmm. That's when as I started, I wasn't qualified yet, but I started doing piece jobs with my friends. Then I went for the at college for a certificate, of course. Mm-hmm. So I finished the course. It was 2006. That's when I worked at Bulawayo City Council, that is Fire Brigade. Okay. I worked there for 2 years. Mm-hmm. That's when I proceeded upgrading my license from class 4 to class 1. Okay. Then from there, that way came interest to be a bus driver. Okay. That was from 2008. I was with Greyhound coaches from 2008 until lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what were the high moments in Greyhound, maybe? Things that you enjoyed as you were working?
Yeah, it was a big company before it shut it down. Mm-hmm. To tell the truth, we were being taken care of at Greyhound. Though the salary, no one will say the salary is now. Surely, those guys, at the moment, that's when I'm taking back the time that no, those guys were really taking good care of us. So maybe when we weren't aware, because it was the moment when we were there, we were focusing on many things, but surely I can say Greyhound, they took care of us.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, it must have been a very great time, and I always admired the way you guys carried yourselves around as you were doing your business. And what was the company policy on carrying yourselves around?
Yeah, those guys, they taught us to be clean, mm-hmm. Take good care of your passengers. Mm-hmm. As we always say, the customer is always right. Mm-hmm. Usually, I think it tamed us, especially on some of us, we have high tempers, you know, but those guys, they taught us to be humble all the time, taking care of customers, putting the customers first before me. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, thank you very much, Moyo, for sharing your story, and we were truly blessed to know the experiences that you're having at Greyhound. We'll take a short break. Please stay tuned.
It's painful to say goodbye. It's hard to say I miss you. The time of love is through some grows. I need you now, dear Lord.
Welcome back to the show, Painful Goodbyes. I'm with Mr. Xolani Moyo, and we've been talking about the experience at work. And now there came a time that you spoke about, the time when the company shut down. Maybe you can tell us about that story, what really happened and what was happening to you.
Oh yes, Pastor. That time when we started hearing these stories of Greyhound shutting down, it started as rumors for us, and we, as a big company, we were on denial that no, Greyhound will never shut down.
Okay.
But as time went by, that's when we said, oh, this thing is for real. If these guys are putting everything together to give us our profit and monies, to give us that's when everything came to dawn that, for surely this company is going to close. And that was so sad, to tell the truth, that was so sad. But still, we waited until the last minute to see, surely the company is going down. Yes.
So it means they started giving you notices. The first thing you heard rumors.
Yes.
Tell us about the times when you were hearing the rumors. I mean, how was the environment like at work and maybe even at home and such things?
Yeah. As I said, we were still having the denial part that this company is not going to shut down. Maybe some of the guys will remain running the company. But especially at home, trying to have that mind of shifting from Greyhound, the big company, it was something else. And that's when you saw everything is just coming to the sunset part, whereby the dark is coming. No plan after that, but surely God is always there to take you across. Yeah.
I remember the first 21 days, I think, that when there was the lockdown.
Yes.
And then the 21 days were followed by another 21 days, and then the other 21 days, and maybe there was a little bit of hope. I don't know, maybe if you can talk about the hope that you had that maybe yes, maybe not.
Oh yes, when those 21 days were announced, we told ourselves, no guys, let's just put our things together. After 21 days, we are going back. But as you said, Pastor, those 21 days we keeping on doubling, going, adding. I think after that was towards December, I was one of the last men standing to be called on Greyhound to do. It was the last trip to test it from Joburg to Zimbabwe. We were told that, okay guys, just go and try to ferry those passengers who were coming back home. Yes, I was one of those guys who did that. That's when I said, no, this thing is for real and the company is shutting down. And they also took the blame on COVID, while initially they were on the plan of closing the company. Because they told us that the guys from the Europe side, they were saying there are no profits, so they're shutting down the company. And we were told one of our boss in SA is going to keep on running the company, but hey, it wasn't that way. Yes.
So it seems COVID then became an advantage, so to speak.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, then came that final day when you lost the job. What was going on in your mind?
Yeah.
The pain that you had, yes.
Yeah, that moment, Pastor, that moment was really painful, especially on my side. As I said, I'm a father of 4 girls. Another, the firstborn, of course, she's married now. But these 3, my concern was with these ones because they are still at school. I have to take them, keep them going at school, and especially when you are a father working, you are fending for your family. They are eating this, you are bringing them this. But that moment when it comes in your mind that they are no longer going to get all these things, it was a painful moment. Yes.
So then what are the most difficult things that you had to struggle with after you lost your job?
Yeah, that one especially, it was very, very uphill moment for me, because on the side of our parents, I can say I was the breadwinner, though my brothers, they are there, but I was the main guy as I was blessed with this job. But now seeing that I can't do this for my mom, I can't do this for my brothers. My grandfather and grandmother, they are the ones who raised me. Unfortunately, they were already gone. But the major concern was my mother and my girls. That was the main worry, challenge.
Yes. When the breadwinner can no longer provide the bread, it becomes very difficult.
Yes.
And the breadwinner may have challenges with God. What was your view of God at that time?
The thing that kept me going was this thing never happened on my side only. I said this thing has affected most guys, especially my colleagues whom we were working together. And it was a moment whereby I told myself that most of the times, Pastor, I've told myself that everything happens with a reason. You know, sometimes, especially, let me say, especially during the time I was working with Grey, there were moments whereby you would find yourself, you are being delayed maybe by a small thing, but as I grew maybe spiritual, I told myself that, you know, those seconds or those minutes or those hours you were delayed, maybe there was something which was being moved from my way. So that's why I told myself that maybe God is, you know, changing things, maybe resetting our lives. Yes. Because from that time, some of the guys, they've opened their businesses. Something which we were just having blinkers that we are working for Crown. But if you can check now, especially now, most guys, they are doing their own thing. Some are farming, some are, you know. Yes.
Okay. So people begin to say things sometimes, you know, when you lose your job, they may say many things. Maybe share with us those words that were hurtful when you lost your job.
The most that one, I think it will take time to erase from my mind and my heart. That one when I think it was 2 years back. When it was a closing day, when I went to collect my kids at school, you know, kids, when you are there, the father is there, people are getting their reports, end of term. I went inside the room whereby I was supposed to collect the report for my daughter, the younger one. She came out and told me, Daddy, they say you must come and you have to collect the report for me. It was unfortunate when I get there, I was told, you can't get the report for your daughter because your school fees is not up to date. That moment, Pastor, to tell the truth, it killed me. Up to today, I feel that pain because some kids were getting their reports and I just held my daughter on my hand and we went out.
This is something that had never happened before because you were
Yes, I was always updated.
And now you can't do that. And it must have done something to your being a man.
Yes.
Maybe you talk about that. Let's talk about that. Being a man and now you are told your child hasn't paid school fees and what? That one, that's why I said, you know, sometimes God can take something away from you and give you something which can help you or which can keep you moving. That's when I took as a man, I decided, no, you know what, guys, as we were having 2 vehicles, let's take 1 vehicle, let's get rid of it. But I knew that even if I can get rid of that vehicle, that money will be finished again. But God, again, I can say, Pastor, He gave this opportunity. There were these guys who said, no, you know what, instead of getting rid of this thing, there are these guys who are getting these vehicles contracted for monthly, you'll be getting paid. That's when that thing came, and that's when we took that vehicle to those guys. Up to date today. That's why I say God on my side, Yeah. It almost became another painful goodbye. Because now you've lost your job.
Yes.
Now you're losing
The asset.
The asset. Maybe the asset that you loved so much, and now it's going. That was going to be another painful goodbye indeed.
Because on that one, there was a vehicle, the first one, for Madam, my wife.
Okay.
We sold it. That person paid half. Then he couldn't manage to finish. Then we took it back.
All right.
This is the vehicle we're having now. That's why I'm saying God can shift things for a better position. Yes.
And now it's the same vehicle that was supposed to go.
Yes, please.
And that was going to be very, very difficult.
Yes, sir.
Very difficult.
Yes, sir.
And now, looking at your family, your daughter, she was married, the three little sisters to the daughter. How did they view this, and the wife as well? How did they view this? How did they look at this when you lost your job?
It was a difficult moment, Pastor. It was really a difficult moment. That's why I'm saying, especially adjusting to what they were, the life they were living. But thank God we had some time talking to them. Guys, this is what we have. Guys, we used to have this, but we're no longer having this. You know, they adjusted. My girls, surely they did adjust. But me as a man, it kept me, you know, on my toes to try and have something for them.
Yes. Yeah, because as a man, you would not relax, and that was very important.
Yes, Pastor.
Thank you very much for opening your heart and talking about the things that maybe a man would not talk about, and the feelings that you had as you were dealing with this loss.
Yes.
We'll take a short break. Please stay tuned.
It's painful to say goodbye. It's hard to say I miss you. The time of joy is through some growth. I need you now, dear Lord.
Welcome back to the show, Painful Goodbyes. I'm with Mr. Xolani Moyo. And before the break, I was wondering how the news was delivered to you about losing your job. How did they do it in the company?
Pastor, that one, when we were still operational during that time towards COVID, we once saw a notice on the notice board. I think that notice was reading Bulawayo, Zimbabwe cross-border. I think they started by notifying the cross-border drivers, that was the Zim cross-border drivers, that from such a date, we are not going to be operational across the border. We'll only operate inland, that is within South Africa. So I think that's how the news was broken to us. But also, our Bulawayo and Harare terminal managers, they were told. They had the information, but I think it was hard for them to share with us. So we saw it on the notice board that is on the SA side.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking to myself, when you see it on the notice board, it must be very hard to say, okay, no one has told me, but I'm just walking by and I'm seeing this notice, and this is actually taking the bread away from my family. I don't know how it impacted you when you saw the notice.
Yeah, it was a difficult moment, as I said, Pastor. It was a difficult moment because they couldn't bring us together like as we're having duties. Some were going, coming.
Okay.
So I think maybe on their side, I can say maybe on their side it was a better way of communicating. If you are coming inside the office, you read for yourself. Maybe it was a way of them notifying us than maybe telling us individual. But it was surely a breaking moment, because I will keep on saying I was on denial that ground will never shut down.
Yes. So such a big company will not shut down.
Yes.
Then when it happened, I'm wondering what then became your source of strength?
Yeah, after that, let me say during the time before we shut it down totally, some of my colleagues, some of them, they had been blessed, they got land, some of them they did the greenhouses, some of them they did this and that. But on my side, the hardest moment was during that COVID time. That's when I was trying to build a house for my kids where we were blessed, given a land. That was the moment whereby I was concentrating on bringing up the structure, because I wanted something, the shelter, even if, because my wife told me that, you see, this moment now where we are, even if there are no windows, we can put plastics by the windows. We go there, as long we are no longer going to pay rent. So that's where I was concentrating during that time. Yes.
So it became a source of strength to build, just to get to that, into the house. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Also, I would love to say, especially my friends, there's Elta Maposa of Nchonalanga, Mangezi of Nketa, they kept me going, that Moyo, you know, especially Mangezi, especially on this building thing, he kept me going. I can assure you, he kept me going.
Okay.
Don't look back, Moyo, move forward. Yes.
So it seems you had a very good support system, which is like the friends that you've mentioned.
Oh, yes.
Besides your friends, who else became a source of consolation and comfort, who supported you in that rough patch of life?
I would say these little angels of mine, they kept me going, because sometimes, especially as a man, if they were, let's say they were not there, the kids were not there, sometimes you see yourself, no man, you know, maybe this is end of life, maybe there is nothing again to live for after that. But seeing them, that if I go, if I'm no longer there, who's gonna take care of these little ones? Pastor, I always tell myself that, please God, keep me alive until I see the last kid maybe standing on her own. That's my prayer, like every day. Right. And I know my God.
Yes. So it seems to me that children then became a motivation, a drive, so that you could live and do other things, and that's very, very beautiful. And you said God was there with you. So how did you see God at work in all this? How did He come through to you?
Yeah, maybe. Let me not say how He came through.
Okay.
He has been there all the way.
All right.
Because things which have happened in the past, sometimes we are where we are because of God, because some of us maybe academically we didn't do well, Pastor, but you can be on the same level with those. So it's not that it's me who is clever or what, but I know God will be taking care of you all the way. So for me, I would say God have been there from day one until now.
So He didn't come through, He was there.
He was there. He has been there.
What an interesting way of looking at it. So sometimes we think that God has come through when He has already been there.
Yes, Pastor.
So it's our realization that He has been there. Thank you for that point. So when losses come, sometimes we have lessons. So losses are teachers, and they give us some lessons. And when you lost your job, what lessons did you have?
I would say, Pastor, maybe the lesson I learned from losing the job was, let me say this in a way of, I understood that don't focus on being employed all the times. Even if you can be self-employed, you can survive. And nowadays you'll find out that people who are self-employed, most of the times, they are in a better position than people who are employed. As I said, that some of my colleagues, they went for farming, doing greenhouses. I was like, wow, these guys, they are doing, especially the greenhouse. Even today, it's only that I haven't reached that target, but I would love to experiment or experience that farming thing. Yes.
So when one door closes, actually another one should open, and that mentality of depending on employment.
Yes.
Okay. So how did you then come to a place where you are comfortable to talk about this? I'm wondering how.
On that one, Pastor. Yeah. I would say maybe I would say my partner, my wife, she has been always supportive, especially when they are, I would say there are opportunities whereby they come, Pastor.
Okay.
That there are people looking for a driver.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would tell myself that, you know what, sometimes let me just not rush back. What I'm doing now, maybe God have said, you know what, just concentrate on this one. Because now I've seen a way that the thing I'm doing now maybe can be much better for me to be with my family and all that time. Because like when we're driving, you spend 2 nights away, 2 nights back. But nowadays I'm with them every day.
Okay.
I'm seeing my daughters growing every day. They need my advice every day, so I would say. Yes.
So it became a blessed disadvantage. Now you are at home with your family.
Yes.
And now what you are doing is really helpful.
Yes. Sir.
So if you were to speak to the younger self, the younger Xolani, what would you tell him?
I would definitely tell him, you know what, younger Xolani, in life, never look back and trust God in everything that you are doing. God is always there for you. We may not see him, we may not see his presence, may not feel his presence, but surely God is there from day one. Only if you allow him to hold your hand and go with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Now, there are people that are watching and that are listening. Some have had this experience that you are having. I don't know what words you would give them. Maybe some haven't found something to do. What words of comfort would be relevant to them that you could share from the book of experience?
I would say, Pastor, in life, follow your heart. Like if you feel like, especially like we say follow your heart, if you feel like you want to be a mechanic, you want to be this, hang in there, hang in there. It's not all of us, as I said, it's not all of us who are given academical. My talent can be maybe on drawings, on doing this, on doing this. Concentrate on what is in your heart and follow your heart, and trust God will polish everything for you. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your story and speaking to the hearts of those that have lost jobs, showing that there is hope even after the loss of a job. Thank you very much for spending time with us. For me, Skumbuzo Duve and the Xolani Moyo and the crew behind the scenes, it's a wrap.